think I'm live. Um, Give me a second here. Uh, all right. So, um, come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna try to put this up on my screen. Just give me a second. So today there was a press conference. I'm not looking at the chat right now. What the fuck just happened here? Come on. Ugh, stupid thing. Come on. Are you not zooming out? All right, there we go. Hey, everybody. So I'm putting this in here. I want to show you guys this. Where'd it go now? Um, Pretty interesting. So I've followed the Long Island serial killer case. It's been near and dear to my heart because it's happened here. You know, it's one of the biggest cases that I've ever seen in my lifetime that I've followed on Long Island. You know, from where I am. So this is gonna be a quick one because I gotta get my son off the bus. But I just wanted to I want to show you guys this. This is pretty interesting. There's been no information released about this case for years. Years. I mean, they really gave us so little. Besides the fact that we know that they found these bodies, there's been phone calls made by this guy, and the fact that some of these people were prostitutes that were contacted off of Craigslist. But other than that, they have not given us anything about this case. And I have followed it very closely, this case. Um, I'm familiar with the area. I'm familiar with everything about the case. I read books and stuff like that. So today they held a press conference. And I'm going to show you guys what they showed us. So just give me a second here. If you guys don't know about the case, there's actually a really good book written about it called Lost Girls. I should add that to my Amazon store. I'm going to show you in a second, Laura. I know I tipped off Greg Hughes last night about this. As soon as I found out about it, I emailed him. And because, if I had to pick, I know Gray had done some coverage about it. He had done a video about it. So I figured, Gray's a perfect person to cover this and talk about it. Because I know he had a little bit of the background information. And I think it's really important that these crime channels get the evidence out there. So I don't have many people that follow this story. I don't know, but I know I have some people from Long Island that follow me. And I'm going to show you guys right now. So this is what they released today. And you're probably like, what the F is that? It's initials on a belt. They wouldn't give us too much detail about the belt. Hey, Carly D. But they would tell us that it was a belt that was found at the crime scene. Now, I'm assuming the crime scene is a burial site, right? Because we don't know where any of these murders, happened. So this is what they released today. The police chief, or commissioner rather, said that they basically, this is an embossed initials on a belt. And so obviously they don't know if it's WH or HM. I'm assuming this is on the inside of the belt just due to this brown, color that's in here. You see that? To me it looks like whiteout or something, but I don't know. To me, embossed is stamped, but the police commissioner could have been using the wrong terminology. I looked at this for about a half hour. Even though it's not so small, it's the most evidence we've gotten in this case. Now, I'm assuming this belt was, and this was not released. This is me saying this. This was not released in the press conference today. I just want to make that clear, okay? That I believe this belt was used to strangle these women, or one of them. and it was left behind, maybe a piece of it, maybe not even the whole thing. So let's look at these letters though, okay? I at first I was saying no, it's definitely the WH. But as I stared at it, I started to look at the H, okay? And you see how this bottom piece is like kind of, I don't know. It looks too low down. Who would write an H and then cross it that low down? I feel like this is it. HM. So let's think of names, HM, Henry, Harry, Geraldo. No, is that a G? That's a G. Never mind. But apparently, these initials belong to the killer. Now, the other thing that they let on today was that they're using DNA evidence and entering it into the genealogy databases, which is how they've been solving a lot of these crimes. The family goes in and they ooh, that's interesting. Dr. Hackett. What's his first name? I forgot. Is it William? No. If that was, they would have had this guy. Peter Hackett. Sorry. So this rules out a lot of the people that they were thinking, because they thought it was this Burke character who was the old police chief, I believe. A lot of people were saying it was him. And before, because I said the same thing in my head, I was like, hockey mom, no. So they were also the guy who had I was gonna say Shannon Gilbert at his house. His initials, nope, don't fit. Somebody out there has to know these initials, and around that time where something was going on. It's Tiffany. I don't think it's spray paint. John Bitteroff. Now, Michelle, I don't want to say that he's not a suspect anymore, because here's the thing. I personally believe, and I might be alone in this, but I don't think that the 4 girls that were found originally, okay, there was 4 women. It was Shannon Gilbert. Not Shannon Gilbert. Maureen Brainerd Barnes. There was God, why can't I remember the names now? I'm having a brain fart. The 4 bodies that were initially found, that were all, so they say, in burlap sacks. I believe that those were one set of remains that were from one person. I personally believe that this area was used. Yes, Megan Waterhouse. Thank you, girl in the shower. Thank you. I believe that this area was used as a dumping ground for multiple killers. And people might think that sounds crazy, but it's really not. Because if you live on Long Island and you know how busy it is here and how densely populated it is here, there's not many places where there's not people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, out east there is. If you go all the way to the east end of Long Island, right? It's kind of empty. There's farms out there, but pretty much from where I live, and I'm in the center, pretty much doxing myself here, but it's pretty densely populated. There's stores everywhere. There's houses. There's people. There's not much room. There's not much places. We have a couple of nature preserves. By my old house, we had a big one, a state park. There's another one out east, which some bodies were found in that area. We call it the Pine Barrens if you live here, but they say in the news, the woods in Manorville. Now, that's pretty out east from where I live. So, John Bitteroff was another character that was in this this story here, and somehow attached with it, because he left bodies in the woods in Manorville, and he lived in Manorville. And so it's very possible that some of those, some of the victims are his. There's so many there's only so many places you could put a body here, you know, that somebody's not going to find it. And that area is so desolate where these bodies were found. I've been there a million times. I mean, you drive across these bridges, right? And there's this, it's basically a strip of land with a highway and beaches. That's it. There's nothing there. There's no gas stations. There's no stores. And where the bodies were found, there's no reason for anybody to be in that area. So I do believe that other people could have thought, okay, where's a isolated place on Long Island that's nobody's around. There's not many places. But that's just me. I could be 100% wrong. It's weird. Long Island is like a county, like wooded area. Yeah. Like, for instance, even in Manhattan, right? A lot of bodies have been dumped in the Hudson River. Why? Because where the hell are you going to put a body in a city? You know what I'm saying? That you can't find it. That there's not going to be a person to find it. Michelle, it wasn't exactly a marshy area where they left the bodies. There's this highway. Let me see if I can pull up, actually. Hold on a second. I'm going to open up another window and I'm going to pull up, I'm going to gray hues over here and I'll pull up a little map for you guys so you could kind of understand the lay of the land. Because it's pretty interesting. Hold on. Let me just Google. I wish I had more time to sit here today. I don't. I'm going to have to end this in about 20 minutes, but I just wanted to put this out there. Just to spread the word, you know. Let me see. Maps. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the area here. Okay. Let me just not dox myself. Gilgo Beach. All right. Okay. All right. Let me just I'm going to take that bit of evidence off for a second. So let me stop screen sharing there for a second, and then I'm going to show you guys what's going on here. Oh, hold on a second. All right. Let me just pull this off. There we go. All right. Let me share this now. All right. So this is Gilgo Beach. Okay. How do I get to the actual real view? Oh, satellite. Okay. This is great. This is perfect. Okay. So here's where the bodies were kind of found east of the beach. So the beach is right here. I know this is kind of like weird looking. Let me zoom back out. Okay. I'm just trying to orientate myself here so I can find the bridges. Okay. So here we go. Right. So when you're coming off Long Island, you have to cross this bridge. Okay. Right here is the Robert Moses Bridge. And here's the beach. You see how the land is disconnected? There's kind of like a little inlet right there. So this is like Robert Moses Beach. This is where I would go to the beach, okay? And this down here is all the beaches. I hope you guys could see my mouse. Otherwise, I'm kind of, this isn't going to make too much sense. But, all right, let me see if I could pan across here a little bit better. All right, so the killer basically came off the beach. Now, mind you guys, it's dark down here. There's nothing going on here at night, okay? So there's houses along here. If you look where I hope you guys could see my mouse, where it says Ocean Parkway in between Gilgo State Park and this little kind of loop-de-loop thing that the highway makes. There's houses in here, but they're not many. And these are beaches. And the bodies, I believe, I don't know exactly where they were found, but they were somewhere in the area between where it says Cedar Beach, okay, and Gilgo State Park. And maybe Gilgo Beach. They were found somewhere in this area. They were spread out. They weren't all together. So this is an area where there's nothing going on around here, you know? Look at Long Island. Just take a look at look at how all the streets and how busy it is. You know what I'm saying? There's not many places you could get out of your car and dump a body. Now let me go out east and just show you guys. We'll take Sunrise Highway. So this 27A, if you look at the bottom of the screen, that's like Main Street. Sunrise Highway is up here. This is like one of the main highways. There's not many highways. This one goes all the way to Montauk, which is the end of Long Island. Okay, so let's get out east here. This is kind of where I grew up. Here's a preserve. This is one of the park preserves, which I'm basically doxing myself, but whatever. So sure, yeah, I guess one could dump a body there, but it's fenced in, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how accessible it is. How do I zoom out? Oh, there we go. Let me zoom out a little bit. Stop. I'm trying to... There we go. Okay. So some of the bodies were found out here. Okay. See where it says the Long Island State Pine Barrens Preserve over here? So there was pieces of the bodies found out here near Manorville. And then it's a pretty far drive. I mean, it's about, I don't know, I want to say a 20-minute drive. 25 minutes at the most, right? So this person came all the way here from that area with pieces of a body. As you guys can see, it's pretty densely populated. I mean, let's just zoom in random areas. You guys see how many houses there are? It's pretty populated, except this small area right here. I mean, other than that, look at all the houses everywhere. So there's not many places you could go to dump a body. There's the airport. So bodies were found out in this area. Where is it? Manorville. Sorry, let me zoom out a little bit. Snoop! Right there. Okay, and then pieces of the bodies were also found down on the beach over there. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Sorry, I can't see the chat. Sorry, I just zoomed in on that by accident. So let me go back to this piece of evidence. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what the land looks like, you know. There's just not many places. So it is possible that somebody... Snoop! Hold on a second. Stop! So this is what they found. This is what they released. Now, they've had this since 2011, I assume, when they originally found these bodies. Why they're releasing it now, I don't know. But I have a feeling it has something to do with genealogy. I mean, they had to get some type of DNA off of this thing, right? So they mentioned this genealogy website. So I'm assuming that they found... Now, this guy, John Bitteroff, no, Girl in the Shower. I don't believe Joel Rifkin is involved in this at all. He actually didn't hide his bodies out here, really. I think most of his bodies were in the city. So he would drive out to the city because at that time when Joel Rifkin was a serial killer, Times Square was like a prostitute haven. Times Square has only been cleaned up in the last maybe, I don't know, 2 decades. But it was kind of there was a lot of strip clubs or, shady peep shows there. And now, and I think he would drive into the city and get prostitutes. Nowadays, you don't have to do that. We could all just, well, not we, but, there's Backpage, there's Craigslist, so there's all these different sites. So, there's no need to drive out there. He would take the women out to his house, which I believe was in Nassau County. So he wasn't out here in Suffolk. Hold on a second. Come on, Snoop. Let me get this dumb dog up here. Come on. Come on. Up the stairs, old man. We're not going out. We're not going out. Going upstairs. There you go. There you go. He needs support. So anyway... Yeah, so I don't think they have anything to do with him. I really don't. And they've questioned him, trust me. Uh, so this John Bitteroff guy, he there was two murders. This guy actually got caught through his DNA. His brother got arrested, and he got caught through that his DNA. And they had mentioned that he might be connected with some of these, which, you know what I'm saying, he might be. Some of the bodies, there was 17, I believe, sets of remains there now that were spanned out. Let me go back to that map for a second. I shouldn't have closed that because the bodies were, the four bodies were found in that small area that I showed you guys from Gilgo Beach. Did I close that? Yep, I did. But the other remains were found closer to Jones Beach, which, if I don't know, that's further out west. That's in Nassau County. So they were pretty much found at the edge of Suffolk County. So I feel the killer probably lives in Suffolk County and is very familiar with that area. Because it's a popular area where people go to fish, and there's actually a 4-wheel drive beach over there where people go to. I used to go there. I used to drive my truck on the beach. You could camp out overnight. So this person had a very good familiarity with the area, knows that, what time of night you go there, and that area where the bodies were dumped, it's just like nobody would ever be there for any reason. It was in like the bushes. They weren't dumped in the water or anything like that. It's a dry area. Hold on a second. Let me remove this again. And stop screen share. Okay. All right. So let's just go back to this for a second. Oh, hold on. Is it on this one? Oh no, the other one's still open. Sorry. Hold on a second. I can't find my other window. Hold on. I'm not like Gray Hughes. I'm not as advanced as Gray Hughes here. All right, hold on. Let me just grab this back and zoom out here. Come on. Hold on. Can we just get off there? Thank you. Hold on. Let me get the other window up. This one's not zooming out for some reason. All right. All right. Where's my screen share button? Come on, you piece of shit. Screen share. There we go. All right. Let me go back to this. All right. So let's just look at this one more time here. Is this the right one? Yeah. Okay. So if you zoom out on this, the other sets of remains were found way out here. Okay. In this area. So I don't know. Could that person have there's only two ways onto this island. I should explain that to you guys, okay? So this is one bridge to get across to come from Jones Beach. Actually, no, wait. I'm sorry. That's actually not. Is that the bridge? Yeah, it has to be the Wantua State Park, right? No, I'm sorry. This way, too. That's where it ends, the highway, right where it says Ocean Parkway, and you see the little loop-de-loop there. And then the other way you could get on is all the way over here. So there's not many places you could get on to this area. So the bodies, let's just zoom in. I forgot to do that before. You see where this is all bushes, like this area right here. So it's a great place, and it's thick. It's very thickly covered, so it's a good place for a body to go. I mean, and the water's pretty much over here at the top. If you see our lovely green water that we have here on Long Island. But I think the bodies were a little further down. Now, this is where Shannon Gilbert went missing. You see Oak Beach Road at the bottom here? That's all the houses. So they're quite far. And I can imagine why this girl got lost, because it is pitch black dark down there. I drove down here with my ex-boyfriend one time at night on his motorcycle, and it is scary. You know, the last of the light that you see is pretty much, um, hold on a second. God, could this thing like, let me just zoom out a little bit. So you don't see any light. There's no lights. I'm pretty sure there's no lights, right? So when you come off this island over here, oh my God, it's like so dark, especially down there. This is where the, beach is, but even on the Ocean Parkway at night, it's so dark. It's scary. The only thing that really lights it up is other cars, but there's no cars there at night, really, because there's really no reason to be driving down here unless you're going to the beach or you live in one of these houses on Oak Beach. But past Oak Beach, there's nothing, So here's Gilgo, and here's where the bodies were found, over here. The original four were somewhere over in this area. So, I thought possibly it could be somebody who went onto the beach where you could drive on, but I have a feeling they dumped the bodies. They were headed, so they came through Robert Moses. They dumped the bodies because they're on this side of the highway, and this is going west, okay? And then they probably exited the highway either by doing it. There's a turnabout, so there was a turnabout. I remember I looked at this one time. Let me just go back over here for a second. So Gilgo Beach is over here. If you look close at the highway, there's a turnabout somewhere right after where the bodies were found, right before this area, the Gilgo 4x4. This is where you would go on with your truck and you can hang out there for the day. So somewhere right over here, is that it? Yeah. No, that's to go the other way. There's another one, turnabout to basically turn around and go back, east so that you could go back over the bridge. So they purposely planned it, That's why I'm saying this person had to be very familiar with the lay of the land over here. So I would say they live in Babylon or something, somewhere that they would go to this beach a lot. Is this it? I think cars probably do go over there, but there's an actual turnaround area somewhere where they probably knew that, and they used it to their advantage. So I believe the bodies were in this area right here. Okay, spread out. It's just crazy. 9 years these families haven't gotten answers, and it's unbelievable. So hold on a second. Let me just get back over here so I can see you guys. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So Tiffany, yeah, the killer could live there, but here's the thing with those houses, Oak Beach. First of all, those are like $1 million houses, okay? You have to be a doctor, a lawyer, and I'm not saying that the killer couldn't have been a doctor or a lawyer, but look at that belt again. That doesn't look like, a doctor was wearing this old kind of messed up looking belt. That looks to me like a workman's belt, because really, who would put their initials on their belt? This is somebody who would probably have had to take their belt off somewhere, their clothes. Like my husband, for instance, I'm not saying he's a serial killer. I'm just saying a construction guy like that, because they have to change, out of their work clothes. My husband's union, you're not really supposed to drive home in your dirty clothes because you could, you have shit all over you, metal scraps and shit like that. So this is somebody who, might have changed out of their clothes and had to have their initials on their belt for some reason. So, maybe they're left somewhere in a locker or something. Yeah, Tiffany, I do think that there's people that stay there yearly, but the majority of the people on the of those houses, they're vacation homes. Again, you have to remember, there's nobody. I don't think they're allowed to have belts in jail, Nona, because yeah, they could become weapons. There's nothing here. If you want to go shopping, right, you have to go over that bridge again and down the highway to find, a food store or something. So it's not a very good place to live year round. I'm not saying people don't. Some people do, but it's just not. I feel like they're more summer homes, the majority of those houses. So very, very interesting stuff here. I joined the web sleuth, so I'm gonna check that out later. And I gotta get off of here. I gotta get Jesse off the bus. But I will. I'm gonna try to come back tonight, and maybe we'll look at the web sleuths together, or I'll look at it in the meantime and show you guys maybe some of the stuff that I found, because they're really good there on web sleuth. So that's what I'm saying, Tiffany. The houses are over here, so you have to go back over this bridge, and then like this is all houses up on the top. So you know what I'm saying? To get to anywhere that's like a place that you can shop for food. I mean, there's little stores and gas stations along this road 27A, but I don't know. I don't think it's anybody in those houses. It could be. I'm not saying it can't be, but I don't know. It's somebody that was very familiar with the layout of the land. So, all right, I have to end this because I have to go get Jesse off the bus. But like I said, I will try to come back later, and we could talk more about this later. And I'm sorry I wasn't looking at the chat too much. I just have to. I was trying to show you guys, give you guys an idea of the layout on the land. So I will try to come back tonight and talk about this. And if anybody has any questions about the case, because I was very into this case, we could talk about that. So, all right, I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys later.